On your mark. Get set.
Oh, here it goes. I don't see anything here on the screen, but when I put on this super specs filter, I've got a couple of people who just show up. Do you have any idea who this is? Oh, there we go.
I see some shadowy figures, but I think they're turning out to be, Richard Dumont and DJ McHale. Am I seeing things right?
That's who I see.
From another dimension. One of the things that Richard did so well in that episode was, and he did it in a lot of the episodes, and it's so Sardo, is that as he's trying to sell whatever the thing is to the kid, in this case the carved stone, he's just making it up as he's going along.
Yes.
And Richard's so good. This is an ancient
Egyptian. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Right.
Just say the magic
The kids
spell.
are so stupid. It's just like
Very gullible.
So this other actress basically owes me her career, because if she had wasted her time on Crisscross, she wouldn't have gotten Sense and Sensibility, and it was Kate Winslet.
Oh, wow.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There you go.
Yeah, the one that
For
got
her.
Yeah.
Can do, Shandu. Here's $50, Mr. Sardo. Keep the change.
Ooh, thank you. Mr. Rockefeller, thank you.
We're Mighty Morphin Slimester Rangers.
Yes.
I got to be honest with you. A big part of my Power Rangers fandom was I was always Jason when we played Power Rangers. Yeah, right. And my cousin was always Zach, and we always fought over who was Kimberly's boyfriend, even though
Jason is the leader of the Power Rangers. I don't care. Fight me. Screw it. Suck it, Tommy.
There he is,
But,
right behind me on my screensaver. Moving on, we have a very odd entry here. This is yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah,
How memorable is this guy? All you gotta do is go, ooh, and you know exactly who it is.
He's memorable for being bad.
Yes.
So this guy's name is Mr. Tickle Sneezer, or some people refer to him as just Tickle Sneezer. He's from episode 9, For Whom the Bell Tolls. And the reason why he exists is because Trini likes to collect dolls. We end up seeing like what turns out to be, spoiler, a dream where she imagines in her sleep that he comes to life and is essentially hired by Rita to, capture the Power Rangers. And he ends up using these like little bottles with corks from his like tourist garb, whatever he's wearing. He looks like a troll mashed up with Where's Waldo. I don't know what I really want to say about this guy. I mean, put it this way, Toby, you love finding Power Rangers stuff at Goodwill and other thrifting shops. I think this is one monster that's better left in the bargain bin, very deep in the bottom.
Which one is better? Are you afraid of the dark or Goosebumps? And okay, this has been done 100 times. It's time to start narrowing it down. So we're doing episode specific.
Well, and really, both of them had various forms of media, right? They both had books and TV shows, so you can't really look at them across the board in terms of which one was better. You kind of have to compare episodes or books, one at a time, like we're doing tonight. And I think Brett should get his boxing gloves, because I'm going to pull him from that beard all the way down to the phone police headquarters.
Oh my, them's fighting words.
And this was back when everyone had a landline, and it was customary to answer the phone whenever it rang. In 2022, most people avoid having to answer the phone, even if it's their best friend, if it's their boss, if it's their family member calling. They typically send it to voicemail. We hate having to talk on the phone and much exclusively prefer text messaging instead. However, Jake is infatuated by the phone and its endless possibilities for connection.
I have one question.
What?
Is Billy Baxter trying to call you right now? Is that why I keep hearing pinging? Tour guy, would you like to reveal yourself?
Who knows all about Bluffington?
Yeah, who better?
Hello, guys.
It's the one and only Jim Jenkins, creator of Doug, of course. How did the Lucky Hat melody come about?
There's a rhythm to the Doug episodes, and it's actually loaded with dialogue. We were just, it was, our scripts for an 11-minute episode might be somewhere between 21 and 23 pages long because of all the words.
Oh, wow.
I said, we're not doing that this time. And so this script that Alan did is about 15 pages long. And that's what makes the music work. It had to be sort of magical and wistful and kind of moody.
Tell them which day you thought was the messiest day we ever did on Double Dare.
The day that I slimed you during the obstacle course.
Ooh.
So Mark, this is a great story. That was my
pick too.
So this is a great story. So Mark, you know, none of us really like to get that messy after doing it for so long, right? Because what people don't know is we had to take 5 showers a day because we had to do another show. But I don't know, we just got giddy during that obstacle course, and every obstacle I would throw slime in his hair and whipped cream, and then we go to the next obstacle and I'd slam a pie in his face. And all I remember saying at the end of that was, "This will be my last day working for Nickelodeon. I'd like to thank you all." Thank you.
Hi, I'm Catherine, or Kat, and I was called Kat before Space Cases, so that nickname was mine first. Sorry, Jewel.
So for me, writing is everything. The writing spoke to me, and it said that they were looking for, this character's description was a mixture between an airline pilot and a hostess from Disneyland.
Oh, Thelma, very instructive, and yet at the same time has that very light, sweet quality. Because everyone's so happy in Disneyland, aren't they?
So I kind of had that going. And she sort of came from there. And I think what I discovered with the concept of Thelma was the absolute joy of the clown in me that I didn't know. I mean, she was there, but she never had a chance to really come out and party. And I had a chance to do that with Thelma, especially when they would write crazy stuff like, you know, dancing the hoedown and all these crazy things, which I just like, okay, comedy, here we come. And so I related to Thelma in that the child in me was allowed to come out and play.
Nick Takes Over Your School is brought to you by Post Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereal.
Did you both send in postcards?
I think I may have tried my luck once or twice, but Mallory she was determined. She was going to win that thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many I sent it.
When she won, she got to invite 1 or 2 guests along. And she called up her little cousin. Fortunately, she was calling her little cousin. I was like, "What?" I told her like a few months ago. I messaged her. I was like, I was randomly thinking about how you invited me to Nickelodeon Takes Over Your School, and I don't know if I actually fully thanked you. I just want to thank you for that experience.
I'd go to like thrift stores and I would get like Mega Man on NES, and like it was so easy. And then around, I don't know, 2014, 2015, everyone started to collect. The hobby kind of got, you know, it wasn't as fun. I was kind of the weird kid in high school because this was like early to mid 2000s, and I was playing like Super Nintendo, and people were like, "Oh, that's cool," but that's weird, you know?
Yeah, because it wasn't like the current system.
The freaking giraffe, like that jump scare.
Oh, geez.
It's nightmare fuel, dude.
One of the first times I met his family at his house, they're like, "Oh yeah, hey, yeah, you were on that show Legends," and I was like, "Well, yeah, but he was on Guts." And he immediately, Josh looked at me, he's like, I was like, I knew it. So I got him that was the only way to get him to admit it. So it's funny, we tell the story because nobody, number one, believes, especially if we have to be on the reboot, like, "Oh yeah, they were acquaintances." Like, no, we were literally, I was the best man at Josh's wedding, even though they showed that picture and it looked like we were getting married on the reboot, but I was actually at his wedding.
There's still 4 seconds left behind you.
Let me change my virtual background so that's not distracting you. How's this?
Not a distraction at all. My goodness.
That is good. Well, now I can't.
Olmec's talking into my mic.
I was reading up, I'm not going to get his name correct, so I'm not going to try, but there's a guy, I believe a Buddhist monk, and he was able to, his breath control was so fantastic that he was able to slow his heart rate considerably. He was able to change the temperature in different parts of his body on command, and he was able to hold his breath for quite a ridiculous, I can't remember how many minutes it was, but a ridiculous amount of time. I guess my answer to your question is, I think that the idea of the tomorrow people might be stretching it a little bit, but I think there's certainly abilities that we have, capacity for the way that we use our brain that maybe haven't been as researched.
Obviously, as far as I know, no one knows how to teleport by just using their mind yet, but I'm sure if there's like some deeply intensive meditation going on, maybe some sort of energy fields can pop up, or, just something to elevate the human consciousness a little bit beyond what the everyday ordinary mindset is. No, I have a lot of collected thoughts for this because Alex is pulling out all the stops. It's like, oh, what episode's better? Like Tale of the Midnight Madness or Tale of Laughing in the Dark, if we're making an Are You Afraid of the Dark comparison. Obviously, everyone's going to say Zebo because that's what they remember the most, and they're not even going to give it a second thought. And naturally,
that's the right answer, though, Brett.
But no, you shouldn't want to go with the crowd. You got to think independently. It's about the sense of rebelliousness and relatability, and just being able to find that happy medium of, yes, you're going through growing pains and you're maturing with Pete, but you also shouldn't remember your roots. And I think while what we did on our summer vacation is undoubtedly the more nostalgic episode of Pete and Pete, especially since it came earlier, so it has more time to marinate in people's minds, I would say Splash On is the more poignant one. Like, it hits harder when you see it. And granted, it doesn't have its own DVD release, unfortunately, because it's hiding somewhere in a warehouse in New Jersey. Rocco accidentally slips from her head into her cleavage, where he turns to face her, feigning embarrassment. Immediately, the hippo lady angrily replies, "How dare you!"
I honestly love the hippo scenes. That's some of my favorite in any episode that the hippo appears in. And I feel like when you just impersonated the "how dare you," it made me think of the Stella shouting contest. I don't know if you're familiar, but in New Orleans, there's people who yell out "Stella!"
Yeah, like Streetcar from Desire.
And so it reminded me of we should all have a "how dare you" contest.
And I was at an autograph show for Land of the Lost at one of the Comic-Cons. And he comes and said, I was a contestant and I won. And he said, I cheated.
Oh, no.
I said, what do you mean you cheated? He goes, well, I watched the show and I saw that the cameras would always focus on the object. So the audience knew where the object was. So when you told me to go find the object, I looked for one of because there's several cameras. I looked for the one camera that was focusing on something. Oh, and I found what I was looking for. I said, "You're a clever boy." And he used that to find the object. I thought, good for him. Smart.
Well done.
Yeah, clever.
Baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do.
On your mark. Get set.